There were 5 humans in the kitchen, but it was very quiet, filled only with the sound of the rain. It was only accented by the sound of Shannon's and Kumasawa's washing the dishes. Goda was using the leftovers from breakfast and lunch as ingredients for a soup. Rosa had suspected that poison might have been added to the food, so they decided to eat canned goods, but it hadn't been too satisfying. But Goda thought she was being too cautious. So he was spontaneously creating a soup to be served only to those who wanted some. Shannon and Kumasawa were washing the dishes that the food had been arranged on. On the inside, they thought maybe Goda should wash them, since he'd been the one who'd wanted the food arranged on plates in the first place. But they left their complaints unsaid for the time being. Genji and Nanshu were facing each other across a crude chess set that had many years of experience. The game had still only just begun. And because the opening game of these experienced players had been honed to perfection, it looked like a ceremony where they just moved specified pieces in a specified order.
良い匂いですね。やはり缶詰ではこうはいきませんね。
開封した食材だけで作りましたので、毒が混入しているなんてことはありませんよ。皆さんの分もお作りしていますので、ぜひ食べましょう。もちろん私もお毒味しますよ。安心して召し上がってください。
本当にいい匂いですね。合田さんのまかない料理は本当に美味しいです。
美味しい材料を買ってきて、美味しい料理が作れるのは当たり前です。私は師匠に、あり合わせのもので美味しく作るまかない料理を極めてこそ真の料理人だと習いました。
それはいい師匠でしたな。おかげで私はとても美味しいスープをごちそうになれそうです。
親族の皆様にお召し上がりいただくための材料で作ることになってしまったのは残念です。
ローザさんも朝からのいろいろでお疲れなのでしょう。無理もないことです。
でもそのおかげで美味しい食材のスープが飲めるのですからね。
Rosa had fervently warned everyone that they didn't understand the danger they were in, and that they must assume that poison was mixed in with the food. The mood at the time had led them to agree, but hunger wasn't something that could be swayed by a momentary emotion like that.
皮肉にも普段の私たちではとても味わえないスープとなりました。できるなら客間の皆さんにもぜひ振る舞いたいところなのですが。
ローザ様のご指示に背いている以上、よした方がいいだろう。飲みたいものだけ飲む
と見えないところで上手に息抜きするのも使用人の心得でございますものね。
When Kumasawa cackled, Shannon and Goda laughed too. It seemed that, in this space where only the fellow servants were gathered, they could relax quite a bit. Shannon didn't like Goda's occasional dishonesty, but she knew that there was no falsehood in his childish smile when he cooked, nor in his desire for people to enjoy his food. So even though it was a little aggravating to be made to wash the dishes, she couldn't really hate him. However, they couldn't have dreamed that Rosa was calling them wolves in the parlor at exactly the same moment they were spending the time peacefully like this. At that time, several of the servants heard a sound like something being dragged, and then a thump. It seemed like the sound made by a servant outside the back door when they were carrying a mountain of trash bags on a rainy day. Or maybe when a servant was returning from work, wearing a raincoat. So at first, that sound didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary to any of them. But they soon realized. Right now, everyone was either in the kitchen or in the parlor. So who could possibly be at the back door? As the servants all looked at each other, they checked to make sure that each one of them knew what that sound meant.
誰でございます？
The servants knew the mansion's layout well, so they understood how incomprehensible it would be for someone from the parlor to actually go outside in this typhoon, go all the way around and come up to this back door. Then was it Kinzo? They couldn't imagine that Kinzo, who never left his study, would dash out into the middle of this typhoon and come to the back of the house, where only low-class people ever entered or exited.
気のせいじゃないですよね。
Shannon and Kumasawa drew close together, fearfully looking at the back door.
どちら様ですか？
As Goda fearfully approached the back door, he called out, and his eyes flashed towards the butcher's knife that sat in a nearby sink. He didn't pick it up yet, because there was still a possibility that this was a member of the family. However, that possibility was impossible. There was no response from across the door to Goda's initial question. Maybe his voice had been so quiet that it hadn't reached through all the wind and rain outside.
源氏さん。
南條先生と女たちは下がってる。
一体どなたなんですかな？
Genji took a knife with a classical design from a stationary box placed near the chess set. It was something to be used instead of a paper knife to open envelopes for statements of delivery and bills. But it was still a knife, so the blade on it could injure someone. Genji hid it in his sleeve with a well-practiced motion. Then he approached the back door himself, giving Goda a silent nod. Goda cautiously approached the back door and slowly started to open it. The shadow of a person suddenly shuffled into sight, landed on its knees and fell over. Goda fell backwards onto his backside and couldn't get up. That human shadow was soaked with rain, smeared with mud, and drenched with blood.
カノン、大丈夫か？南條先生。
It was Kano. His breath was feeble, and the puddles of mud he left were quickly drenched bright red. When Anju held him and turned him face up, there was a deep, gruesome wound right in the center of his chest, as though he'd been stabbed there by a spear or something. Even now, deep red blood poured out from there.
これはひどいですよ。どうしましょう。救急箱ですか？救急箱ですか？
カノンさん、傷口に手を当ててしっかり押さえてください。使用人室のベッドに運びましょう。皆さん、手を貸してください。
さあ、カノンさん、しばらく我慢してください。
しっかりして。もう大丈夫よ。だから傷口から手を離さないで。
とにかく使用人室へ運ぼう。熊沢はローザ様にカノンが見つかったことの報告を。
待って、ローザ様にはダメ。
待ってください。カノンさんがローザ様にはダメだと言っています。
どういう意味なの、カノン君。
今はいい。早く使用人室へ運ぼう。熊沢、ローザ様にはまだお伝えするな。カノンに事情を聞いてからにする。
はい。
He had told them not to tell Rosa, right after appearing in this state. This could only mean something very disquieting. An eerie anxiety rose to their faces.
さあ皆さん、急いで運びましょう。早く早く。
Kanon's wound was unbelievably deep, and judging from Nanja's pale face, it was a miracle that he was still conscious.
これはひどい。何か槍のようなもので刺されたようです。肺まで届いてなければなんとか持つかも。とにかく止血を。
No matter how much Nanja tried to wipe off that gushing, deep red blood, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't wipe it all away. And each time, the wound was aggravated, causing Kanon to cry in anguish.
カノン君、カノン君、カノン君、しっかりして、しっかりして。
南條先生、替えのタオルです。なんてむごい。
容体はどうですか？
本音を言うと生きているのが信じられん深手だ。刺されどころが幸運だったのかもしれん。だが出血がひどすぎる。輸血が必要だが明日まで無理だ。
ローサ様が僕たちを。
喋らないで、カノン君。傷口が開いちゃう。
ローサ様、僕は
なんですって。
ローザ様がですか。おお、そんなことって、そんなことって。
間違いないのか？
はい、間違いなくローザ様でした。
さあ、もう喋らないで。熊沢さん、もう一つの救急箱を取ってください。
源氏さん、ローザ様がなんてことはあり得るのでしょうか。
わからん。
Disregarding Nanja and Kumasawa, who were struggling hard and stained with blood as they tried to stop the bleeding, Genji and Goda faced each other. Because if what Kanon had said was the truth, Rosa was the culprit who killed Jessica.
ローザめ、よくもお嬢様を殺してやる。
Kanon screamed even more hatefully. His hate-filled voice made it seem like he was seeing Jessica being harmed right before his eyes.
確かにローザ様がお嬢様を殺す理由はあるかもしれない。後ろ宮家が全滅すれば遺産は全てローザ様のもの。だとしたらバトラ様やジョージ様も危険なのでは。ローザ様は銃を持っている上に今客間には彼らしかいない。源氏さん、これはかなりまずいことでは。
Shannon suddenly ran out into the corridor. Her expression was complex and tragic, as though she didn't know what to believe. Shannon ran. To where? The inside of the mansion had been scrupulously cleaned, so it probably wouldn't be easy to find. She might find it if she searched the rose garden, but they'd probably all been lost in the wind and rain. That's right, the boiler room isn't cleaned very often. If she went there, she might be able to find it. Shannon ran downstairs to find that in the underground boiler room. Did some medicine take effect at the brink of death? Or was Kanon finally beyond feeling pain? For the time being, at least Kanon's painful gasping had subsided. Nanjo apparently didn't view this as a very good sign, and he didn't let his eyes off Kanon for a second. Kumasawa firmly gripped Kanon's hand and kept encouraging him, so that the willpower keeping him alive didn't fade away. Genji and Goda seemed uncertain how to respond to the truth Kanon had risked his life to deliver.
ローザ様の銃は確か4発か5発の弾が込められたはずだ。
決して少ない数ではないですね。でもあの銃は弾の装填に結構な慣れが必要だったはず。一発目は撃たせてしまうかもしれませんが、みんなで襲いかかれば次を撃たせずに銃を奪い取れるかも。
この島には医者はいても薬はなく、病院もない。撃たれどころが悪ければ死ぬぞ。
それは分かっていますが、それより早く行動を起こさないとまた次の事件が起こる可能性も。私たちはローザ様にうまく追い出された気がします。今頃ジョージ様やバトロ様が殺されている可能性も。
そんな危険な相手なら無理に刺激しない方がいいんじゃありませんか。
しかし明日までは長い。どんな手を打ってくるか想像もつきませんよ。源氏さん、こちらから仕掛けるべきです。せめて10歳理由をこじつけて奪えばなんとかなるかも。
弾は4、5発じゃありませんか。ということは私たち全員を殺すには足りないということです。迂闊に刺激しなければきっとローザ様もむやみには。
あいつは言ったよ。僕たちを皆殺しにすると言った。
Kanon, who they'd thought was sleeping quietly, suddenly started talking brightly. Almost as though he'd been awake this whole time and had suddenly opened his mouth. Kanon looked firm and steady, which relieved Nanjo a bit, but considering the depth of that wound, he couldn't wipe away a certain creepy feeling. He knew because he was a doctor. After losing so much blood, Kanon might easily have lost consciousness. And yet, somehow, he was still intensely aware of his surroundings. Was it youth? Or was it tenacity? Sometimes, the power of human life surpasses common knowledge. While stopping the bleeding, Nanjo had groped around a bit inside the bleeding hole with tweezers, making sure there were no foreign objects inside the affected area. And the great depth of the wound had shocked him. It had certainly reached as far as his lungs. And yet... No, but the fact that he's still alive is wonderful. But Kanon had spoken clearly. He'd hatefully stated that the one named Rosa made this wound, cursing and raging, over and over and over.
あいつは親方様の財産を独り占めするために、台風が過ぎ去るまでにどんな手を使ってでも皆殺しにする気なんだ。
くそ、なんて人だ。源氏さん、どうしましょう。私たちにも何か武器がいるのでは。
にわかには信じられ 王座様がそのようなこと。
源氏様、信じる信じないじゃない。あいつが僕に、そうこの僕が聞いたんです。どうして信じてくれないんですか？
起きないで。傷に触ります。
Kanon sat up on the bed, speaking to Genji, who didn't seem to be willing to believe Kanon's story.
あいつは僕たちを必ず全員殺す。もうきっと客間の方々も殺されているに違いありません。僕らが先に殺さなければ必ず僕らが先に殺される。僕が先に殺されたようにみんなも先に殺される。殺さなきゃ殺される。殺さなきゃ殺される。殺さなきゃ殺される。
カノンさん、あんた本当に痛くないのか？
ああ、これですか。大した傷じゃありません。
大した傷じゃないどころか、あんたは
本当に大したことはありません。こんなのもう全然痛くないし、本当に大した傷じゃない。
As Kanon said that, he began to untie the bandages that had been painstakingly wrapped. The gruesome hole in his chest was immediately exposed.
カノンさん、そんなことをしてはダメですよ。早く横になって。
大丈夫ですって。ほら、大した傷じゃないでしょ。
Kanon showed off his gaping wound, which was still slowly spitting out foamy blood. Everyone averted their eyes reflexively.
ほら、全然大した傷じゃないですって。
やめなさい。傷をいじってはいけません。
ほら、見て。全然深い傷じゃないんですよ。ほら。ほら。
Kanon held up 2 fingers, showed them to everyone, and slowly started to stick them into the gruesome wound right in the center of his chest. Plunging, slimy, squishy, wet. The fingers went in deep, all the way to their bases. Squish, gloop, bloop.
カノンさん、やめて、やめて。
Those fingers were sticking all the way into his chest, up to their bases. And then he slowly pulled them out in exactly the same way. The fingers he pulled out were stained a sticky, solid, deep red color, and there was even a thread hanging. The fingers were covered up to their bases in deep red.
あんた、痛い。
ね、全然大した傷じゃないでしょ。
At that moment, the door was slammed open and Shannon appeared. Even after she saw Kanon, stained with fresh blood, her impregnable expression didn't falter.
やあ、姉さん。どこへ行っていたの？僕が既得だというのに。一体どこへ？
ボイラー室に行ってきたの。探し物があって。それより確かめたいの。あなたは本当にカノン君。
It was only natural. Everyone believed he was Kanon, so they couldn't understand the meaning of Shannon's question. When they looked, they noticed that Shannon was holding a handkerchief in her hand. It was filthy and looked like it had been used to wipe up some trash or dust. And while holding that, she approached Kanan, drawing closer to his feet.
なんだよ、それは。
雲の巣を拭き取ったハンカチよ。
なんでそんなもの。
カノン君なら平気だろうけど、もしあなたにとって雲が天敵だったなら嫌うかなって思って。
やだな。僕がどうして雲を嫌うの。
ごめん、試すね。
シャノンさん。
When Shannon brought that handkerchief close to Kanan's thigh, something happened in an instant. It happened all at once. The human eye couldn't have followed it. Kanan jumped like a wild goat, fleeing from the thing Shannon was holding. Then, from his arm, some kind of afterglow flashed purple and drew a curve through space. That arc, which drew 3 beautiful purple curves, traced across the throats of Nanjo and Kumasawa, who had been tending to him. And, in an instant, Nanjo's and Kumasawa's throats opened like gaping mouths, and then the blood really started spewing out. The third purple curve should have traced across Shannon's throat, but Shannon wasn't there. Because Genji, who had been behind her, had wrapped his own arm around Shannon's neck and pulled her back. This all happened in an instant. In the instant it took Goda to think fast in an attempt to understand the scene, the frozen moment in time shattered. Blood was gushing from Nanjo and Kumasawa's torn open necks. Kanan jumped and kicked off a picture frame that had been hanging from the wall behind him, springing forward just like a cat and aiming for Shannon's throat again. But Kanan's target once again disappeared from in front of him. Because Genji had pulled Shannon again, and the two of them had fallen to the ground in a defensive crouch.
いい反射神経だ。この老いぼれ覚悟が。
ゴダ。
Even Goda was no fool. Even if he couldn't fully understand what was going on, he at least realized that if this calm wasn't seized, his own life would also be in peril. He sprung at Kanan with his huge body, pushing him up against the wall with all his weight and physical strength. Another purple curve was drawn from the tips of the fingers on Kanan's right hand. And when he raised that hand like a sword, aiming for Goda's back, there was a loud thunk. Because Kanan's raised hand had been pinned to the wall. He couldn't tear his palm away from the wall. Sticking out from it was the knife Genji had thrown. Under normal circumstances, it would have been surprising to see someone as old as Genji handle a knife so skillfully. But in this abnormal space, no one paid it much mind.
源氏様、これを。
Genji took the handkerchief with the spiderweb stuck to it from Shannon, and he approached Kanan, who was pinned to the wall by Goda's massive body and the knife.
やめろ。それをやめろ。やめ。
When Genji pushed the handkerchief up against Kanan's face, there was a sound just like setting meat on a red-hot iron plate. Of course, the smell was the same too. As he was horribly burned, festering in filthy red and black and crying out in his death throes, Kanan's body burst open and scattered. It was almost as though a balloon filled with gold leaf had popped. The entire servant room was completely buried under a storm of gold leaf. No, a cloud of gold butterflies. Those butterflies began to softly fade, as though into water, or rather, into the empty air itself. And afterwards, all that was left was the 3 survivors sitting on their butts, stained with blood. However, not everyone was merely stained with blood. Some of them were lying on the ground, spurting out blood themselves.
熊沢、南條先生。
Slits so sharp they looked like they'd cut your finger if you touched them open wide, and large amounts of blood kept pouring out.
何だったんだ。いや、今のは。
ゴーダ、怪我はないか。
私は大丈夫です。しかし、私たちは何を見たんだ。何があったんです。私はあれを確かにこの手でこの壁に押し付けていたのに、その私が何があったのか理解できない。
Goda looked at his own hand. The bright red blood left from his scuffle with Kanon definitely remained. And yet, Kanon was nowhere to be seen. Because he had disappeared. He had transformed into gold butterflies and scattered. Goda kept screaming alone, without a clue about what was going on. Shannon stopped in front of Nanjo's and Kumasawa's remains. As Genji watched over her, silent as always.